Demi is a whole new makeup concept, okay? If you have a lot of blemishes, sunspots, melasma, any redness you want to get rid of, any scarring, any birthmarks that you want to get rid of on your face, then Demi is what's going to do it for you. We're filtering now. We're not covering our whole face in lots of layers of makeup, okay? We're even putting on less makeup than 3D foundation, which honestly is absolutely incredible because you should know by now how much I love the 3D foundation. So just know that this is in a whole new world. A whole new world. Okay. Yes, I did that. That's how excited I am about Demi. Okay. This is my artist palette. This is the big artist, okay, palette. Don't let it overwhelm you because there's many other sizes and options available. So don't let it scare you. It's all good. Okay. These are every single one of the Demi colors, and they are beautiful. And you're probably saying, what in the world are you doing with those on your face, and how in the world is that going to cover my blemish? Okay, I'm going to show you. Like I said, now that I can say everything, I don't know where to start. Okay. I should have made myself a script. Okay, with Demi, the first thing we're going to do, okay, is look at your entire face. Now our faces are gonna change daily, okay? I have redness on my chin. I usually have a lot more redness, about probably the same color, if not darker, on this side of my nose, but it's not there today because our faces are always changing. The coloring's always changing, okay? And it all depends on our hormones. It depends on how much sleep we got, right? Depends on how much moisture we have in our face, how well we're taking care of our skin, all of that. A couple big distractions for me today. Honestly, I was hoping for a little more stuff going on. So, my first big distraction right now, I would actually say are my eyebrows. Surprise! Now I do have red in my hair right now, so that has helped out, but I'm in need of a microblade touch-up. And so as my pigment has been fading a bit, as you can see, it's a little bit more red. It has kind of this orange red shading to it, and it's really only, well, let's be honest, it's mainly where my cleanser, right? My skincare is touching it because that's going to affect how long that pigment stays in my skin, right? Okay. So first off with Demi is I'm going to get rid of that redness. So color wheel. Think of a color wheel. If you're not familiar with a color wheel, I wasn't. It's okay. Don't stress about it. It will be all right. Your kit will come with a color wheel in it and some instructions, so don't worry about that. Think Christmas colors, okay? So red and green, opposite on the color wheel. So I am going to go in, and I'm not going to go in with any of these bright greens here. I'm gonna go in with some neutral green, okay? The neutral green is going to be more like my hair color, as you can tell, but it has some green in it, so I'm gonna go with the neutral green. I really only need a teeny tiny bit, okay? Now Demi is cream, just like 3D foundation. It's just light and beautiful. Okay, so I am just gonna follow and it's mainly just kind of along these edges, okay? Okay, can you tell already the difference in the redness? Okay, what redness? I don't see any redness. Yeah, that's the point. Because we have just filtered it out with the opposite color on the color wheel, okay? Let me get a little bit more here and go on the other side. Okay, and please, like, any questions you have, leave them in the comments. I will totally get back to you. There are many options right now for edits and angels and a bunch of different bundles. So if you are confused and don't know what direction to go, then also reach out to me, let me know, either here or a DM or whatever. Oh, and if there's a specific thing that you don't like about your complexion and you're wondering if Demi will help that, ask below as well. Okay, so comment and I will let you know. Now, next big distraction. And some of these are going to be harder for me to do in my camera, because I will tell you, with Demi, you're not just slapping on the makeup anymore, okay? You're not just doing a whole under eye concealer, because not my whole under eye needs concealing. And as you can see, let me get my brush out and I don't poke myself in the eye. Okay, as you can see, I have a ton of different colors in here, okay? Through here and here is kind of, we've got some sunspots going, okay? And those are kind of in the brown mossy kind of color, okay? They usually have a green hint to it, so remember that when it comes to your sunspots, you usually tend to have some green underneath, okay? Because we're not looking at actual color, we're looking at the excess of color, okay? Our skin naturally has color to it. That's what skin does, right? We have layers of skin and water and all of those things, right? And natural shadowing that just naturally occurs on our face. I have this white bright scar on my nose, right? From skin cancer from a couple years ago that was removed. That was much smaller than this whole big scar is, but it was hiding underneath. That was nice of it. So I have found that, hello to all of you joining, thank you. Comment below if you have any questions. So I have found that if I get rid of this baby first, now I'm not going to get rid of it, right? In a literal sense, but I am going to filter it out. We're spot treating basically, but we're filtering. So, with my scar, as I was practicing and getting ready to certify, I noticed that when I was trying to do my under eye, I was trying to match this whiteness. I was like trying to get my under eye to be as white as my scar. And I realized that was totally messing me up, because our under eyes are not pure white, right? We like that luminescence there. We like that glow there, but we don't have to have triangles there of pure white light. Okay. Anyway, moving on. So to get rid of that guy, I have just put, let me pull this up, make sure I tell you right. Okay, so this is the neutral yellow -1. So I'm just putting, like, in fact, I probably got way too much on my brush. Just a little on my brush, okay? And like I said, this is the hard part in my phone, because with Demi, you want to place it just right on the spots that you need it. Because if you go on the outside, you're going to find that little halo, I guess, of color that is going to be noticeable, okay? So we're going for color that will not show, will not be distracting, okay? That just blends right into our skin. Okay. Okay, and I just let that sit there for a minute, and then it gives it a little bit more of a yellow, creamy hint that goes closer in with my skin tone, right? Okay, let's stick with this lovely eye. Okay, it is my trouble spot eye because not only do I have the scar there, but now I have extra deepness here, right? That I try to balance out, and sometimes it can be a little difficult. But with Demi, it's awesome. Okay, I'll try to get close to you. Now, I don't know if you can see in the corners there, I have a little bit of what looks to be a reddish purple, okay? I have some blue going on underneath because I have some veins there, okay? And then I also have spots of like my sunspots here as well, okay? And I have also found, even though I tend to go for the darkest spot, I have found if I go for some of my sunspots first, then my under eye doesn't seem quite as... This is where I need my readers. So those of you over 40, perfect. This Demi is perfect for you, but you may have to have your readers on or a magnifying glass. Okay. Or a magnifying mirror. Okay, let's go. So I'm gonna go in with a red orange, okay? This guy right there. And I do believe it's number 5. Red, orange, 5. Okay, teeny tiny spot. And I am just gonna spot where I see those dark little guys. And I see a little bit of excess there. So I'm actually just gonna wipe off that little teeny tiny bit, and I'm gonna go into the lighter color for these guys right here. And I'm just using a teeny tiny bit, right? And I'm just placing it right on those spots. Okay. Now you see how it's lightening up a bit through there. Well, some of these reds or blues or greens may not make sense right now, but they will. Don't you worry. Okay. I am gonna go, some of these are a little greener, so I'm gonna go in just with my R1, which is red 1, because like opposite of my eyebrows, right? Red and green are opposite on the color wheel. Okay, it's coming together. Okay, will this, one of the many questions, at least especially with us artists, was, is this gonna take longer than 3D foundation? And the answer is, at first, yeah, a little bit. But in the end, once you know the colors, you know what works for you, it will be a cinch, because you're not covering your whole face. You're only going in with those little spots that drive you nuts, right? Okay. And then everyone will think, oh, does she just have really great skin? Or does she really have this great esthetician? And you'll be like, I'll just let you guess, but it's really Demi. Okay, so skin is in. Okay, and obviously, for the sake of this video, I am not gonna get like every single little thing, okay? A little bit more blue in them. If they're not vibrant, okay, and they're darker, most likely they're gonna have an excess of blue in them, okay? It's not just all out purple or all out blue, okay? It's just an excess of that color, and then you're able to go in there and fix it. I just made a really big stripe of wrong color on my brush. I will tell you that for me, especially this side, is very tricky. Some days there's so much more blue undertone, and some days it really has more of a green undertone. And then sometimes there's a teeny bit of purple undertone. It gets a little tricky in there when I'm starting to decide which color I'm going to go in with, okay? I will be honest with you. Sometimes it takes a minute. Good. Now I'm going to say that is a little bit, teeny bit more purple because it isn't quite as dark as this vein down here, okay? So it has a little bit more of a purpley red vibe to it, okay? So opposite of purple on the color wheel is yellow. I was told the way to remember that is Big Bird eating grapes. So if that does it for you, then obviously it worked for me. I won't ever forget that. Okay, but I also don't think it's just flat out purple. Okay, it would be much more vibrant if it was just flat out purple, and it would be much more vibrant if it was just flat out red. Okay, so it kind of has that in between color. I'm going to go with a yellow green. Okay, the question will be is, do I want to go in with the green yellow one or the yellow green one? And that's where it gets tricky, folks, but it's all good. Okay, so I'm going with the yellow or the green yellow one. Okay, and that again, probably a little too much on my brush. Okay, so we're just going to dab in here, and I'll know immediately if it's not quite the right shade, because if it doesn't just disappear, okay, and if I can still see the makeup there, or if it shades to a different color, then I know that I need to change the hue just a little bit. What do you think? Okay. I think we were good there. There's just a little spot that I got on the outside of and had just a little orange hue there. And we'll just get rid of that. I'm going to try first just the straight up orange. Okay, I just want to show you the difference. So I'm just going right on that vein. Okay. Okay, now you can still see the makeup, right? You can see that that's just a titch too light, okay? So I'm just gonna go in, wipe it off, because you don't want to layer this, otherwise you're gonna get texture, okay? And I'm gonna go up here with my yellow orange and see how that does. Looking better already. Let's do something else so you don't all get bored, which is another tip with Demi. So once you're in a spot too long, your skin's naturally going to get a little redder, right? Because it's just, you're touching it, right? So you can just leave it, let it go, let it sit. And then if there is a color that you need to fix, you'll be able to tell a whole lot easier too, because it will just be like, hello, neon light. You have a big speck of blue on your face. I know, it feels tedious, but honestly, when I'm not talking about it and I'm just doing it, it doesn't take much time at all. Let's look at this guy. Now, he does give me trouble sometimes because, yet again, he is a little different colored, right? This guy, he is a sunspot, although he has a little bit more red in him than some of these darker kind of greenish guys, okay? And look, do you see that part right there? That's where I got a little off the spot and it haloed and said, oh, I'm not right. The 01 right here on my palette, and I just honestly go in and see if it will be enough coverage for the day, okay? I got a little bit under there. Okay. Oh. I don't know where he went, so must have been the right color. When that happens, I honestly can look in my mirror and be like, where was that? Like, I know I covered it somewhere, but I don't see it anymore. I did that the other day and I was like, I know there was a red spot, a zit up here I was covering, but she can't find it anymore. So I guess it's good. Like, and that's what's totally amazing about this color science, okay? And what they've done with Demi. Let's do what side of my nose that's red. Okay, let's do this one. Like I said, I was hoping for a little more redness today, like my normal spots. Like this down here isn't quite as bright red as it usually is, and it's usually like that up here. Let me look at my mirror. And it's not, okay, it's, to some of you, it may be like, oh, that's like bright red. And some of you who have a lot more redness, you'll be like, oh, that's nothing. That's nothing, honey. Okay, so this is not really not super vibrant, okay, compared to what red is, okay. It's not saying stop. We're gonna say it has a little bit more purple than it does blue. So I'm gonna go into these guys. Okay. And I like the fluffy side because I tend to still dip a little too hard into my Demi. I mean, these are gonna last forever, ever, because you really only need a little bit. Okay, you see how much that better that looks? And I'm gonna go up here a teeny bit. And okay, and then this right here is about the same red. So I'm just gonna use what I have on my brush and see if that will just do it. Yep. The rest of that over there, honestly, I could just leave as natural shadow, right? We could do the same over on this other side. And it's not quite as deep in the same places, but and then, like I said, if you get too much, you just wipe it off. It's like awesome. I keep missing that spot. Okay, there we go. That's better. So I'm not mixing colors. Show you next. Okay, I do want to kind of focus on this teeny bit there because it's bugging me. So I'm gonna see what our orange will do through here. Just now that I kind of let it sit, I could see that just kind of in the section it was pulling a little extra excess blue there. Okay, so I like that much better. This spot, okay, did you see how it went darker? Not gonna cut it today, so it has a little bit more purple in there. So I'm gonna go, actually may go back with what I used on my, yep, on my nose. I'll get that spot in a sec. Now the hardest part when you're learning Demi is, like I almost did, right? You want to just swirl the color all over. But that's not the answer. Okay, you're just putting it where it needs to be. What redness? I don't know what you're talking about. Let's do this, baby. And now I'm just looking for like bigger spots that we can do, right? Really, I'm barely putting anything on my brush. Like, and they're just gonna last forever. Okay, that one's looking a little bit more purpley. So I'm gonna go back and put a little bit more of a yellow green there. Your whole face that's bad? Like, you just have a couple blemishes. Like, that's nothing. Give yourself a break, right? I mean, as soon as you can filter out, I'm just gonna do some of these here while I'm looking at it. As long as you can filter out those biggest distractions, whether it's your sunspots or a big blemish or a scar or a birthmark, okay, I'm like, as soon as you do that, you're gonna be amazed at how beautiful your skin is, and you never really realized it. Okay, that's what Demi's all about. I will be doing more demos, full face, all of that, but just to give you an idea of what the whole thing is about, okay? We're not covering up our whole face anymore. We're filtering out the things that drive us crazy the most, and we're moving on. Like, we're just going for a gorgeous glow that only really our skin can really give, okay? Like you saw, so many of things in my face just completely disappeared, and it's because we use that color science of Demi to filter that out and get rid of the excess color, okay? So that's Demi. It's amazing.